And lastly, let's take one from Will, who says,
Hey, Will, what up, man?
Dear Wool and Pat, the Mind Goblin King, since Netflix just put up this is Neon Genesis Evangelion, I thought I would watch it for the first time. I always hear the show and the characters are super fucked up before watching it. I thought I had some idea of what I was getting into, but holy fuck, I was not expecting the extent of how much emotional baggage the characters have. It's so rare how glued to my TV I was for the last 3 episodes. This is the voice of a million people, by the way.
So there's a statement that I saw recently, which I guess it would be different for any other show. But it was somebody going, man, I've been hearing about Ava for years. I'm super hyped to watch it on Netflix. And all I can think of is Evangelion might be the program that hype describes the least accurately ever. It is a depressing, labyrinthine mess that makes you feel bad.
So, spoilers. I'm sure some people will probably be watching this, but who do you think in the show has the most emotional baggage, or are there any other shows that come close to this level? Well, and then a bunch of PSs.
Well, there's a three-way tie between your 3 winners, and everybody knows it.
I think Shinji's the king. I don't think anyone tops
Asuka's pretty bad.
Yeah, you like Asuka.
Yeah, I sure do.
I think Shinji's the king. I think he gets it the worst.
You're right. I would put our 2 female leads, or actually our 3 female leads, relatively even, and then I would put Shinji
3
a step above.
3.
What? Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Took me a second there.
Yeah. All right.
Our 35 female leads.
So the thing about the whole Netflix Ava bit going on now is, you know what, man? It really sucks that these kids aren't getting flown to the moon.
It does.
It really, really sucks.
Yeah.
And I understand that there's a part of this where it's like it was this or nothing because archiving purposes, new dub, all that shit. Plus, people only care once it's back on Netflix, and that's fine.
Well,
but we have to say this in a world where we pretend you couldn't go back and watch it in other ways. You know?
I have a few statements on that, one of which is a correction. It's really sad that these kids didn't get to fly to the moon in English, because in Japanese Netflix they totally got the rights to it.
That's true.
Right. So
yeah,
like that's its own little right. Yeah, I've seen the translation stuff.
I also think these kids, I don't know. I mean, they're experiencing like when I think they should experience love.
Yeah.
I get the reasons why, but it's been that way in my brain for fucking my entire life. So
there's clearly a really rigid view of what translation means from the people who retranslated this.
Yeah.
That I really don't agree with. Yeah. I don't think anybody who ever watched the first one agrees with.
And I mean, if you count the manga events, there's some like that is not ambiguous.
No.
At all. However,
a couple modified or off line reads do not damage.
No, it's still the thing. It's still the thing. It's more honestly what I don't envy is the weight of expectation going into the show now for someone who's seeing it for the first time, because there's a lot of people that like are just going to click on it not knowing what it is, but there's a lot of people that have heard of it enough.
Did you see that image going around of that 4chan thread about Ray?
No.
It's the funniest thing I've seen in forever. It's just some fucking 4chan thread of a picture of Ray.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, hey, Ray is love and life, and she's the best. And then the next person posts a picture of Asuka.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, whatever, OP. And then a picture of Gendo just going, you cunts have been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years. And here's to 20 more.
Yeah. As for this person who just experienced this for the first time and is all getting to experience what everyone's been on about, congratulations in the sense that, well, congratulations. Yeah. But also, as far as are there other things like this? Yes, you've seen them. You've experienced the children of Ava, because it's influenced so much media out there.
There's a weird thing of going back to Evangelion now, because you get to this point of you're like, oh, that's what Gintama was making fun of.
I mean,
or oh, that's just like this.
I mean, on a super basic level, it's like, yo, the machine goes berserk, and that's a cool. And then there's the part where it's like, have you watched any anime that attempted to deconstruct its genre recently?
Ever?
Guess what you're watching?
Yeah.
That's an Eva.
It's this thing where when I was watching Gundam, 1970 Gundam, right? Mm-hmm. I kept having this feeling of like, oh wow, that's where this started or became popular. And people watching Evangelion now, like, there's certain moments that I'm sure don't hit quite the same pop.
It's more Go Nagai shit than Tomino shit, but it's still the same like type of mecha show.
Right. But what I mean is there's still moments that might just not pop. It's like, oh, I've seen it before. It's like, yeah, but you didn't see it in 1996.
Yes. Did you see the fucking thing is like, by the way, reminder for anyone that didn't know, but when Eva first aired, it was replacing Ninja Turtles in Japan.
Yes.
And they even
had morning.
And they had a lead-in fucking like little bit where they're like, and now after the turtle adventures, here's a new show. Da 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 da. You know, and like you're like, oh yeah, of course Ninja Turtles gets replaced with
the robot show.
Fuck you, why not?
I like robots. That's
cool.
Robot. Yeah.
How could they have known?
So it's funny that
Anno didn't tell them.
It's funny that we're talking about this because I recently embarked on the journey of, hey, I want to be able to play FF7 again. It's been about 15 years since I played FF7. Remake's coming out. I'll go through it again, right? What version do I play? The answer is the Switch or Xbox One version. All the other versions are fucked up. PC version, I fought with for hours. It does not like my computer. Fuck it. But we're talking about FF7 lately, right? And it's like a lot of people talking to us are like, oh, I never played it. You know why? Because I didn't exist. Or I was 2.
Yeah.
Right? Eva came out before FF7. It's old. It's really old.
It's very old.
And you have to be able to, like, if you really want to get that real, it's like, you have to appreciate what it was next to. And how fucking nuts that was.
I also think that there's a part of this that just can't, there's an undertailing here where like knowing that people are treating it this way takes away the surprise that it goes those places.
Of course.
You can't get rid of that.
Well, no,
Everyone
it's so...
has told you that Eva is Eva and
Yeah.
has told you to care about it. So now you're watching it to find out what the big deal is. And you'll still enjoy the journey.
But that's a weird expectation to go into.
Straight up. Versus watching it as, hey, it's that cool robot show. That
And then going like...
And it gets kind of dark.
And then I'm like, it gets kind of dark, and then it gets confusing. And then it gets really confusing. And then you're finished, and you're like, I feel gross.
I mean, is the movie on Netflix? I hope not, and I hope they wait a little bit.
And of Eva?
And then
I believe it is.
Oh, is it up there?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to wait a little bit and then pop it up there.
So
you know?
like, here's the bonus element that most people, especially people listening to this podcast, aren't gonna be able to have because it that time is gone, and it is, I am younger than the characters in this story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That context dramatically changes how you're going to feel towards these characters. When I watched Evangelion, Asuka would have been an older girl at my high school. So it's fine.
Anyway.
Not for you.
Okay, we just talked about this with Red Dead 2. No one asked. But I also think there's a bit of an issue where it's put together with like Ghost in the Shell and Akira as like a big there's a so okay, for example, people like my friends have been checking it out recently, and like people that I know are, and like I was like, oh, like should Steph check this out? And I was kind of like, no, it's not really gonna it's not going to do the thing. It's not going to land in the same way. It's not going to hit the same notes that you'd expect. And like it's in that same thing where like people that were not into Mecha were into Ava, right?
Yeah.
And because you didn't have to be because it wasn't about that. But there's definitely a lot of beats you're going to miss.
Like, I'll argue with you that Ava Evangelion is not a mecha show.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like,
But you're missing a lot of intended beats.
a lot of the stuff that it's mocking.
And thus not getting as much juice
I mean,
out of...
shit, let's just talk about the first episode, right? First episode of your super robot show, of Gundam. Oh, man, people are attacking the colony. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm Amuro. I'll hop into the robot and save the day. Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, I'm the hero. I love this robot.
Or if you want to do your Koji Kabuto, or
Yeah.
you want to do your any like hot-blooded fucking protagonist shonen manga,
Yeah.
like it's Dad left behind the secret experimental robot that's going to stop the alien
And I
force.
will be the hero, and I'm going to do it.
Let's go, go, go!
Right.
And then their theme song plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's start with Ava. Get in the robot, or I'll toss this dead bitch into it.
I don't want to.
Fuck you. Fuck you, bitch.
Get in.
Get in. Get in, you pussy. I don't want... No, this is why your mom doesn't love you. That's Evangelion.
Oh wow, Dad called me. I haven't heard from him. It's nice that he's calling. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Fly me to the moon and let me play. That's gonna miss. That beat is not gonna hit, right?
Yeah.
You're not. Think about the moments where like you Eric Andre cut to Fly Me to the Moon,
Yeah.
and now those are gone.
Also, a lot of stuff in the way that it's cut and it's like, I almost said fucking filmed, like shot is super weird.
There were filmed moments.
Yeah, there were in that one part,
Mm-hmm.
but like, Evangelion fucking hates background music, and we'll just give you like, you know, hey, walk into school where you would usually expect, and in Evangelion I think there's one do 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 do. Hey everybody, I'm going to school with adventure, and it's like cut to waiting for the subway, dead silence with train noise, awkward long moment that sucks to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is, you know what? That's one of the only things that Ava keeps that's pseudo unique, is that it's a 26 episode show with 2 extra ones that are a movie, in which parts have been made explicitly to suck ass to actually watch.
It literally was constrained by budget during its airtime. Like, there were things about the show that there were concessions that they had to make because they couldn't afford.
So I have one piece of data about the elevator scene that was animated due to a lack of money.
Yeah.
It's because one of the producers stole a bunch of the money. They actually had it,
That's amazing.
but he put it aside for future projects, and the team was like, "Where'd the money though?"
I'm curious to know if there's anyone out there that is born in a generation where they only had the rebuilds, and if they went in and only watched the rebuilds and are now experiencing the show for the first time. That would be a really interesting perspective. Also, we have confirmation that 4.0 is coming soon. So that literally is still happening, by the way, just in case you forgot about them and pretended they didn't exist.
I usually pretend that 3 doesn't exist.
Well, 4.0 is coming.
I will give 3.0 a big thumbs up on one thing. It is the closest you will ever come to going to see a movie theater and sitting down to a single frame of text that says "fuck off" for 90 minutes.
You mean EOE?
No. There's cool shit in EOE. EOE is the text "stop bothering me."
Actually, it's too bad. I
Yes,
believe
actually,
is the actual...
Yeah, no, End of Evangelion might
Is
as
the
well have
quote.
been called "too bad." You're right.
Anyway, enjoy.
Or don't.